Immeasurably help that defense. You got to keep Virginia's offense off the field.
The opening kickoff and a return from the 10-yard line. And breaking free up the middle to 30 and bouncing off a tackle. Mason to the outside and over the 35 to the 37-yard line. Mark Mason with a 33-yard kickoff return. Let's take a look at the Maryland offensive starting lineups today. And here's their up-front people, starting with their center, Mitch Suplee. Ken Oberle is an academic All-America candidate. In the backfield, their quarterback, Scott Zolak, and he is outstanding. 6'5", 221-pound senior. And you see the rest of the starters with Jackson and Vance Phillips getting the start at H-back for the injured Frank Wycheck. Here's the first play, and it is going to be a handoff to Troy Jackson.
Coach
Just a couple of yards.
Coach Krivak has said that he needs to get this running game going to take a lot of the pressure off Zolak, too. You got to like, though, that they're right now at the 38-yard line, so even if it's 3 plays and out, they're not going to turn the ball over or give the ball back to Virginia, so they only got to go 50, 60 yards for a score. They'll be able to pin them back there.
A 1-yard pickup, so 2nd down and 9. Johnson goes in motion. And Zolak wants to throw, has time, and nearly intercepted by Covington. We've talked about that Virginia defense, and here's a look at their defensive line people with Dan Reynolds, the number 2 tackler on the team, along with Slade, the top sack man. The linebackers, Pearson and Killian, getting the starts today. And in that backfield, number 5, Troy Covington, nearly made that interception. Keith McMeans, one more interception. He'll set a new ACC record. 3rd down and 9 for the Maryland Terrapins from their own 38. Again, Johnson in motion. Zolak fires, and it's incomplete. Foley, the tight end, the intended receiver at the 45-yard line.
Foley ran a nice route that time. He was there just enough so that if he'd have caught the pass, he'd have got the first down. But I don't know if you'll notice, and this is a key thing to remember through this whole game. Virginia needs to get people in Zolak's face. They got him there. He had to throw the ball, not when he wanted to, a little early.
Dan DeArmas will punt for the Maryland Terrapins. You see his average, and it is a good one at 40 yards per kick. Jason Wallace, who sprained an ankle last week, but back there to return the punts for Virginia, and a low line drive kick into the wind. And this will roll to the 31-yard line with the Terrapins down it. A punt of 31 yards for Dan DeArmas. And kicking into the wind like he had to, not much hope, even with a good kick.
There is a lot of wind out there, a lot more than you think you'd realize.
I'm sorry, Jess, let's take a look first at the Virginia starting lineups with Sean Moore at quarterback. Kirby and Sweeney are the fullbacks. One change on the offensive line, and that is at left guard. Mark Dixon getting the start ahead of Chris Stearns today. Stearns out with a back problem. Terry Kirby gets the first carry of the day, and he brings it out to about the 35-yard line. So a pickup of about 4 yards on 1st down. Scott Rosen made the tackle. The Maryland defense. And their left tackle is their All-America candidate, Larry Webster. Fleece also anchoring up on that defensive line. They're good linebackers in Whittier and Page. And a very short secondary in terms of size. Only one starter at 6 feet, and that's Rosen in the right corner. When you talk about having to defend Herman Moore, size is something you'd like to have in your corner.
In case you're wondering, Ron Reagan is a Republican. What else would he be?
It is 2nd down and 6 for the Cavaliers, their first possession of the game. And the give is to the fullback, and that's Gary Steele. And he's going to get a couple of yards straight ahead to the 38.
One of the things that make this Virginia offense so effective is right now you got Kirby in the backfield, who's a weapon. You got Sean Moore that can run the ball, and you got Herman Moore split wide. And you only got 3rd and 2. It doesn't matter who you get the ball to, you got a great shot at getting a 1st down.
No score, 1st quarter, just underway. 3rd down and 2 yards to go for the Cavs as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Herman comes in motion, and Sean back to pass. And it's complete to Kirby. 1st down and then some. 47, 48-yard line. Out of bounds in front of the UVA bench. A 9-yard pickup for the ACC's leading rusher. But as he just showed you there, he's can hurt you in a multitude of facets.
He's gotten the ball a lot more since McGonigle's been hurt. What you'll see here is number 38 Whittier crossing your screen. He was following Herman Moore. That left Kirby right out there in the flat. And you know, if he catches the ball at 2 yards, he'll pick up 5, 6, 7, 8 on his own, running it.
Terry Kirby, the sophomore from Tabb, the #1 rusher in the ACC at 99.6 yards per ball game. Moore slipping, now under control. Dumps it to Kirby again, into Maryland territory, 45, and brought down from behind at the 42-yard line. Glenn Page, the right side linebacker, number 56, made the tackle for the Terps. He's the #1 tackler for Maryland this year, but too late to deny Kirby another big gain.
Kirby will do that. He's got the size that he can take those linebackers like Glenn Page on one-on-one and always fall forward. And then when you get Kirby out of there, you got Nicky Fisher to come in after him.
A 9-yard pickup for Kirby and company. The give is to the fullback as Dave Sweeney brings it down to the 36-yard line. Again, Page jumped on his back.
You know, I love it that Welsh always keeps his fullback happy. He knows he's not going to get a whole lot of yards on it, 3, 4, 5, but you got to give it to the fullback because the whole game, he's busting his tail for Kirby. Give it to him once in a while. Let him have some fun.
It's like having an offensive guard in the backfield. Sweeney goes 6'1", 225, and his backup, Gary Steele, 6'2", 223. They can move some defense, that's for sure. Here's Kirby to the 29-yard line. Running pretty well, despite the fact that he was bagged up and missed some practice time this week. Injured his leg against Carolina.
George Welsh said earlier in the week he was concerned, but then Thursday Kirby looked like he was 100% and it had been put behind him. He only needs 104 yards in order to get 1,000. That says something.
We'll keep an eye on that.
He just keeps doing it every week.
2nd down and 3. Kirby keeps his feet inside the 10 down to the 6. A 23-yard pickup for the sophomore from Tabb High School.
You'll see here, Bob, Sean Moore starts to go. Watch number 11, Carl Edwards. His responsibility is more, but Lord, who's got Kirby? He's just got running room, and once he gets up that head of steam, those little DBs, there's just no way. Reagan's in on the tackle, but they're just grabbing for him.
1st down and goal from the 7. Fisher. And a touchdown for the Virginia Cavaliers. Nicky Fisher puts Virginia on the scoreboard first.
What a tag team you got. You got Kirby bringing the ball all the way down, sustaining the drive, and Nicky Fisher getting his chance. I mean, 1 carry and he's got a touchdown. Great blocking in there. Sweeney's clearing the way. The offensive, it's interesting because Stearns is out, and they usually like to run over that left side, and they're still doing it.
Jake McInerney adds the point after touchdown. A 69-yard drive for the Virginia Cavaliers. Nicky Fisher's 9th rushing touchdown this season. 10:23 left in the first. It's Virginia 7 and Maryland nothing. 3 left in the first period. Terry Kirby did most of the damage on that drive, but it was Nicky Fisher who took it in from 7 yards away. 8 plays, 69 yards. It took 3:32. Kirby in the drive ran for 32 yards, caught 2 passes for 19. But Fisher will get his name in the box scores going in from 7 yards away with the opening touchdown of the game. And here is that touchdown run.
They like to run to the left side. Even though Dixon's in there replacing Stearns, they're still going to do it. Roberts, Dixon, and Riles are the guys that you need in there to start moving those guys out. They love that left side of the line.
Mark Mason, one of the deep backs for Maryland, along with Doug Lawrence, as we get set for the kickoff here. And with that wind gusting for Virginia, Buddy Alejandro comes in to hold the kickoff here. Kicking with the wind. And this is going to be Lawrence at the goal line. He'll bring it out. Finds a seam. And a quick hit for Virginia by Keith Lyle to deny Mason even a bigger return. He moves it out to the 25-yard line. Here's Nicky Fisher, who scored the Virginia Cavalier touchdown on that 7-yard run. Cavaliers leading with 10:17 left in the first quarter.
Krivak's got to be thinking right now, we knew we were going to give up some points. Let's not panic. Let's start to move. Let's get this drive going and not turn the ball over. He knew they were going to score points.
Zolak with a give to Jackson. And wrapped up from behind quickly, and a nice tackle that time for UVA, as making the grab was P.J. Killian. Also got some help that time from strong safety man, number 9, Tyrone Lewis.
That's a mean guy. I'll tell you what, he will fly around this football field at a strong safety position and just wait to get a hit on these guys. I mean, he not only wants to tackle you, he wants to make you pay.
Lewis, a third-year starter for the Cavaliers. 2nd down and 9 for Maryland. Not much doing on that handoff. The Cavalier defense, led by Chris Slade, number 85, making the play. We talked just yesterday with Joe Krivak, and he was telling us about how they'd love to be able to pick up 2, 3, 4 first downs and try to get some field position in this game.
And you know, Bob, especially on first down, if they're faced with 2nd and 10 and now with 3rd and 10, you know they're going to have to drop back, throw the ball, and that means guys like Hall, Slade, and the rest of them are just going to pin their ears back, and it's after number 13, Zolak, in a minute.
3rd down, 11 for Maryland. And here's Zolak, pressured out of the pocket. He'll run. He's got the first down and slides to the 44-yard line. The pressure was coming from the sides, and Zolak saw that and shot ahead for a big 20-yard gain.
They had all the receivers running to the corners. Zolak simply drops back. He takes his 7 or 5-step drop. He sees it's open. Forget about throwing that ball and throw it into traffic since he's got a lot of double coverage. The linebackers aren't anywhere to be seen. Just run until, I mean, you know, he's 6'3", though. I think he'd want to take on McMeans.
Jackson over the 45 to the 48-yard line.
Troy Jackson had 155 yards, his best game against Wake Forest, and that's the kind of thing this Terp team needs to do. They need to get a ground attack to take all that pressure off of Zolak. If they don't, you see what happens. They come back after him.
Jackson back in the Commonwealth. He's from Williamsburg, played at Lafayette High School. 4 carries and 4 yards so far for the Terps. 2nd and 6. 7-0, Virginia leading. First quarter action from Scott Stadium. Bob Rathbun and Jess Atkinson with you, and the catch is made by Phillips on the far side into Virginia territory at the 48.
Vance Phillips is an interesting story. He is a senior walk-on. He's replacing Frank Wycheck. Now, he's a big guy, but he's a guy that it's kind of typical of this Maryland team. Guys that have been around for a long time but haven't got a whole lot of chances to play. You'll see this is what Wycheck did best, too. He'd just get out there, pick up 4 yards, and have somebody, someplace for Zolak to throw the ball.
Zolak's first completion in 3 attempts, a 5-yard pickup. And they're checking the sticks on the far side. Now they say it is 3rd down and about 1 yard to go. 3rd and 1's a lot easier to look at than 3rd and 8, that's for sure. Jackson, nice cutback, picks up the first down at the UVA 41-yard line. This Maryland team has the #1 passing team in the ACC. Virginia's pass defense #7. But so far it has been the running of Zolak and that scramble play, and now a couple of good gains by Troy Jackson that have helped Maryland on this particular drive. And going out of the game is Troy Jackson. Looks to be injured. We'll check on that for you. His replacement is Colvin. And Darren to the 40, and that's all. Colvin's a sophomore from Belcamp, Maryland, 6'1", 237. And Ron Carey welcomed him to the Scott Stadium turf.
Those nose guards, they're underappreciated, man. Usually they're just short, squat, ugly guys that can hang out in the middle and try not to get blocked either way. But he did a great job of just staying where he was, and they ran right into him.
Colvin gets a yard, makes it 2nd down and 9. 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. Now a whistle blows, and the officials call time. In fact, Virginia has taken a timeout. So the Cavaliers will stop the clock here, and we've got a timeout on the field. 7:56 remaining in this first quarter. 7-0 Virginia leading Maryland. We now pause for this word from your local station. First quarter. Yes, we talked about ball control, and the Maryland Terrapins have certainly done that in this drive. 8th play of the series here. Zolak looking to pass and throws it away. The intended receiver on the far side was flanker Gene Thomas.
Gene Thomas has been their big play guy all year. You'll see on this, he falls down and he doesn't get to the place where Zolak needs him to get at the right time. So Zolak has to just choke onto the ball, hold it, and just winds up making a smart decision. Throw it away if those guys aren't open.
3rd and 9. At the UVA 40-yard line. And the inside toss. Nothing doing. Mark Mason got the call, but the Virginia defense led by Chris Slade there to negate that run. No gain. It sets up a 4th down.
Guy like Chris Slade, look at the guns on that guy. I mean, you know, he is a bodybuilder type. They got burned a lot last week by North Carolina on that play, so you know that they had to have been looking for it this week.
Delphi, Maryland's Dan DeArmas to punt it. And back number 7, Jason Wallace for Virginia. Fair catch made at the 13-yard line. So a 27-yard punt, but it pins UVA inside the 15-yard line. So even though they didn't come out with any points, they're gaining something in the field position battle.
That's the thing they really need to do. Make them go 86 yards, 87 yards to score. But the kind of funny thing about this is they went 69 last time.
Rather effortlessly.
This Virginia team, offense especially, is capable of just doing what it takes to win.
Terry Kirby looking for a hole that was not there. David Maroney, the right side linebacker, coming over to make that first tackle.
That's what the inside linebackers have to do on Kirby. They've got to get up on that line of scrimmage so that as soon as he gets the ball, he's got to make a decision on which way to cut. They've had a lot of trouble at linebacker this year, not so much the way the guys have played, but injuries at Maryland. What you need to do is you need to push these Virginia guys back, or at least hold your own so that they don't have a chance to get that head of steam going.
The strength of that Maryland defense is with its linebackers. Play action to Kirby. Through the far side and complete. Out to the 29-yard line and making the grab for UVA, Terrence Tomlin. And that's a first down for Virginia. 17-yard pickup.
Just a straight timing pattern by Sean Moore. He does such a great job of this. He gets back there, he knows where he wants to go, and just has to get the ball to him. It's the kind of thing that Sean Moore does so well, because you see him stop, and the ball's on its way.
To the 31-yard line, as UVA again keeping it on the ground, this time Carl Edwards, number 11, and Larry Webster, number 99, getting credit for the tackle.
That's a defensive line that really has taken its bumps and bruises, but this year has been forced to stay in there and play. They don't have the luxury like Virginia's defense of getting breathers and having the second string come in. They've had to play a lot of downs this year.
The fake to Kirby. Moore is running. 30, 35, 40 and out of bounds. Pursuing Jarmilovich, the linebacker, but Sean Moore long gone, turning that corner, picking up another Cavalier first down. Out to the 43-yard line.
Herman Moore was split right on that. If I'm a 5'9" DB, all I want to do is follow Moore. So everybody's following him, and Sean just sees it open and just takes off running. He does a great job of that, making decisions. Sean Moore is such a smart quarterback. He always seems to make the right decision.
There's his rushing statistics this season. And a 12-yard pickup on that play. 1st and 10 for the Cavaliers as Kirby comes straight ahead, breaks a couple of tackles into Maryland territory at the 46.
Pretend you're the free safety on this play, and this is what you see. You see Kirby just coming right up the middle at you. Nobody's really getting a hand on him. The linebackers, everybody's grabbing onto this guy from the side, and he's dragging him forward. In order to get Kirby, man, you got to have a couple of bodies and start trying to hit him so you're knocking him back. So at least he's paying for 12, 15-yard runs.
Terry picking up 11 on that play. Tomlin goes in motion. Moore, plenty of time. Now getting some pressure. And has to run, and that's not all bad either. Out of bounds at the 27-yard line. 19-yard gain for Sean Moore.
You'll see this. Moore just drops back. A lot of Terps got a shot at him. Whittier's got a shot, number 38. He's just moving all around there. Zizakovic had a shot. And then when he gets running, he's a tough guy to bring down because he's so big that you think he'll run out of bounds sometimes, but he'll take you on, too.
A 19-yard gain. He's carried it twice now for 31 yards. Cavaliers moving at the Maryland 27 as Kirby cuts back to find a small hole, gain of a yard or two. We talked a little bit yesterday, Jess, with George Walsh about Sean Moore. And the one thing that struck me in looking over the game films is that here you've got a guy, a terrific Heisman Trophy candidate. There's no question about that. But it's the fact that he can do so many things so well. How rare it is to find a quarterback who not only is a power runner, who's a great drop back passer, and can play the option game.
Not a bad winner for the Heisman, huh?
Boy, he's got my vote if I had one, that's for sure. Backside pressure, but gets the pass away and complete down to the 18-yard line. Kirby making the grab. Scott Whittier making the tackle for Maryland.
Kirby wasn't much used much as a pass receiver early in the year because they had McGonigal at tight end. Since he's been gone, they want to take a lot of the pressure off Herman Moore, and Kirby has shown that he's got a great pair of hands.
The numbers for Terry Kirby in terms of receiving the ball, but he has done it both receiving and running. To the fullback, down to the 1-yard line. Gary Steele with a big carry for the Cavaliers. Well, the Virginia offensive line really going to work on this one.
I know those fullbacks are big, but I'll tell you what, once they clear him out of there, he's got a lot of daylight to go. And then you're Mike Thomas coming up trying to make this tackle, knowing you're going to get the short end of the stick when you're trying to hit a guy that big.
17-yard run for Steele. Cavaliers quickly striking with this offense, and Fisher just gallops in. His second touchdown of the day.
If I'm Terry Fisher, I'm loving this. Because I just get or Nicky Fisher, I'm sorry. I get in 2 plays. I got 2 touchdowns. Why take the beating? Why take the bang? I'll just hop over everybody and keep scoring touchdowns. And of course, pat Terry Kirby on the head when I get back to the sideline.
It's not a bad job. Here's the extra point kick, and it is good by Jake McInerney. 46 for 46 this season, extending his Virginia record. Time on the field, 2:11 left in the opening quarter. It is now Virginia 14 and Maryland nothing. Atkinson back at Virginia. UVA leading Maryland 14-0 with 2:11 left in the first quarter. We talked about the quick strike capabilities of this Virginia offense, and they rate among the all-time greats in terms of points per game. That 44 Army Club, the all-time leader at 56 per game. When you're talking about some high-powered offenses, you've got to include the Virginia Cavaliers. Drifting back through the end zone, and a touchback as Mark Mason. Watch that one go right through his hands. Well, we said earlier, Jess, if you're Maryland, back them up. Make them go 90 yards.
I tell you, am I a genius or what? You know, back them up, make them go 69 yards, they score. Make them go 87 yards, they score. I almost get the feeling that no matter where you put these guys on the field, they're going to wind up with some points.
Scoring points has not been the problem for UVA. The only times that they've had any cause for concern is when their defense has let them down. Maryland comes up first and 10 in its own 20. And they'll stick it on the ground. Troy Jackson. Just a couple over that right side, Virginia's left side of that defense. Reminder, friends, to stay tuned. At the conclusion of today's game, we will be selecting a Schick Most Valuable Player from each team. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. 14-0. Virginia leading Maryland. Maryland bidding for its first winning year in its last 5. And 14 points down to the Cavaliers here in the first quarter. Vance Phillips, the H-back, lining up to the left. Johnson comes in motion. Jackson, nothing doing. Look at the orange shirts all around him.
You can see now that Virginia is starting to have a little bit of fun. They did what they wanted to do. They come out, they get a 14-point lead. Maryland is in, now becomes the trouble part. I mean, you're 3rd and 10. You can let this thing get away from you. You get down by 3 touchdowns, and second stringers are going to come in for Virginia awfully quick. Coach Krivak has got to be concerned, especially about this play. This is a big play for them. They got to get some yards out of this, a first down.
3rd and 7. Jackson keeps his feet, brings it out to the 30. That's going to be very close to a first down, right at that 30-yard line.
Troy Jackson did a great job, a second effort there. A lot of bodies are on him. Killian gets smashed there in the middle, but still a lot of his bodies are on him. Slade had a chance. Jeffries had a chance. It's the kind of thing where, is it enough? Great run, but has Maryland come up short? Kind of like their season. They've played well in some games, but come up short.
In addition to his outstanding running of the football, Troy has caught 22 passes for 159 yards this year. Now, as you saw the measurement,
I guess like we were talking, they're going to go for it. I mean, who cares? They go 30 yards, they go 80 yards. It doesn't really matter. This is a tough call, though. This is a tough call.
The Virginia Cavalier fans rising to their feet here at Scott Stadium. 4th and less than a yard. Zolak over the 30. The Cavalier defenders say that he didn't make it, but all he had to do was take it over that 30-yard line. And it appears from here that he indeed has the first down, and he does. So Zolak calls his own number to pick it up.
Bob, we were talking yesterday with Coach Krivak, and he said we've got to keep Virginia's offense on the field. If for no other reason they went for 4th down than just to do that, get a first down, even if you're looking at the same thing on this set of plays, you got to keep the offense of Virginia off the field.
Zolak throws it behind Jackson, incomplete. Looked like he rushed himself that time.
That's the kind of thing that Sean Moore learned early in his career, when to throw the ball hard and when to finesse it. Zolak, it's his last year, but he hasn't played before this year. He played a little bit last year, but he hasn't had that starting role. And that's the kind of thing, that's just that little bit of difference between playing for those years and having to come in and lead a team in your last season. That's a difficult thing to do.
Zolak's passing statistics this year today, he is 2 for 6 for 5 yards. Talking about getting playing experience, Jess, and I look at that Virginia defense, and they run a lot of the young people in there to get 20, 25 snaps a game. It's something I think that gets lost on the fans a lot of times because they look to the Reynolds and the Carries and the Halls and the guys who make the big plays, but subtly they get experience for the underclassmen, and that has to pay big dividends later on.
It does. We were talking before about a guy like Vance Phillips, who is a senior walk-on who hadn't had much playing time. Virginia likes to get these guys playing time when they're freshmen, when they're sophomores, so that it's their time to step up, they'll get the job done instead of having to worry and changing your offense or defense because you don't have the experience at the positions that you need them. The reason the Terps called a timeout there was simply because the clock had run down. The 25-second clock had run down, and the last thing they need is a 2nd and 18 or 15 rather than 2nd and 10.
So the Terrapins using first of their 3 timeouts here in the first half. Just 3 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. 14-0 Virginia. 2 Nicky Fisher touchdown runs, putting the Cavaliers in front. Thomas wide left out of your picture, in fact. Now he comes back in motion at the bottom of your screen. Here's Zolak getting some heat. He throws and incomplete out at the 40-yard line. Tight end Brett Boley was there, but that ball at his feet. And that will be the final play of the opening quarter. So the two teams will change ends of the field as the first quarter comes to a close here in Charlottesville. We're at the end of one with Virginia leading Maryland 14-0.
Play. It was kind of interesting to see Gene Thomas. You saw him at the start of the show just run a quick slant for a touchdown. This is the same pattern. Zolak needed to just get back there and throw the ball a long time ago. You got to get the ball in the hands of guys like Gene Thomas and make some big plays against Virginia to get them off your backs, because they're just coming and being aggressive. You got to get them thinking twice about being aggressive.
The total yardage in that first quarter heavily weighted in favor of UVA. They held the ball for 7 minutes and 29 seconds. Zolak, and it's going to be complete as Barry Johnson takes it out over the 40 to the 44-yard line. Now, one of those slants you were talking about, and Johnson making the grab.
Barry needs 9 catches to be the all-time leading receiver. I'm sorry, 6 catches to be the all-time leading receiver for the University of Maryland. He just runs a kind of a delay thing, runs into the middle, will get you a first down. That's what they need. Start moving those sticks and then go for a big play.
The final game for the Vienna, Virginia senior. He caught 43 balls last year, including 6 against Virginia and a touchdown. His number is at 19-9. 14-0, Virginia. Zolak will throw, and it's going to be incomplete at the Virginia 40-yard line. Coming out of the backfield, Troy Jackson got turned around and unable to hang on to it.
Shows you what kind of arm Zolak has. Off his back foot, he throws the ball 25, 20 yards downfield and to the sidelines. You know, he's off his back foot. It's tough for Jackson, though, to get his hips around on this. You'll see him trying to right there, but just not quick enough. Oh, yeesh. Close.
Zolak, 3 for 9 for 19 yards. 2nd and 10 for the Terps. Off the hands of Thomas at the 48. Jason Wallace defending for the Cavaliers.
We talked about that pressure. That's what Virginia wants to do. That takes away the deep threat of Gene Thomas. You put that pressure, you play aggressive, and you put that pressure on Zolak, and you know he'll throw it early. What he needs to do is hold on to it maybe just a little bit more and get some of these guys running downfield to make them pay for that aggressiveness.
Scott has misfired in his last 3 passes. Penalty flags go down. It's complete at the 40. Down the sideline as Jackson makes a nice catch and run, but they may bring this one back. Jason Wallace was defending on the play. A 34-yard pickup, but it might be negated by the penalty. We'll check and see.
The defense offside, penalty declined, first down.
That's the kind of big play that this Terp team needs to get them some points and get them back in this ball game. It was the kind of thing you see Jackson flaring out of the backfield. He gets a step or two on P.J. Killian, the linebacker, and it's just a foot race after that. You see him there. He's got the whole field. Jason Wallace will come over and strap him there around the face. That's just what they need. They need a couple of big plays. Get them back in the ball game.
A 34-yard gain. Takes the football to the Virginia 22. 1st and 10. Zolak throwing, and it is complete to the tight end, Brett Boley. Inside the 15, and they'll mark him down at the 13-yard line. Brett caught 4 passes last week for 40 yards at Penn State. Has 28 receptions now this season. Picks up 9, 2nd and 1.
He can do it both for a tight end. You want a guy that can block and catch passes, and he really does a good job of doing both. I think what you'll see in these Maryland passing numbers, 251 yards a game. What they've been forced into a lot of times, Bob, is they get behind, scrap their running game, and just start chucking the ball. And that's pretty much what they're being forced into now. You know, they might mix it up a little bit now and then, but from here on out, the primary goal of the Terps is to get the ball in the air.
Short by an inch. They bring Zolak in to take a look at it. You see our referee today, Dale Phillips, probably leans over to Zolak and says, "Come on, Scott, you can make that, can't you? It's only an inch."
George got a 14-point lead, and he's shaking his head. I guess he gets happy after games, but he sure doesn't look like he's a guy with a 14-point lead.
The Cavaliers have put together 2 long scoring drives in this first half. But this Maryland drive began on its own 20, and this will be play number 13. And Zolak jumps for the first down.
Interesting thing to keep in mind now as they get this first down and try to go in. Field goal is not going to help them against a high-powered offense like Virginia's. They got to find a way to get in the end zone on this series because you can't trade touchdowns for field goals with Virginia.
And I would think, too, Jess, that would give this Maryland outfit a big shot of confidence.
4-down territory for him, no question.
It's Jackson. Tripped up as in the backfield. Benson Goodwin, the right end, got an arm on him, and that slowed him down. Then the Cavalier defense caught up with the play. They will mark Jackson down at the 11.
Tough play for Jackson to pick up yardage on a sweep to the short side of the field down. You know, you got a ton of bodies down there. It's tough to pick up yards when you're trying to cut the corner and you run out of field like that. He did a good job just to pick up a couple.
Jackson had 152 yards earlier this year in the Wake Forest game. The junior from Williamsburg in that lone setback position. Zolak looks to the 5-yard line, makes the pass play, as coming across to grab it was Vance Phillips, the H-back, and that will move it down to the UVA 5. It will be 3rd down now for Maryland.
Right behind Vance Phillips, you see number 21, Barry Johnson, at the goal line. I don't know if Scott just missed him or maybe even was trying to get the ball to Barry, but Phillips just jumped up and caught it.
Jackson spins to about the 3 and short of a first down. So the Terrapins now will have a 4th down situation and about a yard to go. They can make the first down without scoring a touchdown, and that's very important. If they could pick up the first down here at the 1, they'd have still 4 more cracks at it, but they'd love Joe Krivak and company to get it into the end zone right here.
You got a quarterback as big as Zolak. Maybe what you do is you roll him to the wide side of the field to the right and let him take his chances. If a receiver's not open, just stick his head down and see what he can get.
The 16th play of this drive. It's going to be Jackson cutting back to the 1-yard line. He did not get in, but that'll be enough for a Maryland first down.
Can you always tell when a kicker's trying to make calls and he's never been in a huddle?
You mean they didn't ask for your advice very often?
Jackson makes a nice cut back and just goes for it. Smart bit of running. Like you said, he can get the first down without getting a touchdown. He knows that 4 more shots at this thing is better than turning the ball over back to him.
Jackson takes it in. Touchdown, Maryland Terrapins. A great drive for Coach Krivak and the Terps.
He's got to be happy with that drive. 2 4th downs on that. 17 plays, 80 yards. That's tough to do against this Virginia team. Jackson gets it again. He's doing such a great job, a second effort in there. He gets hit, and he's just, there he is, right over the goal line. He's done a good job of running on that drive.
Dan DeArmas, left footer from Adelphi, coming in to kick it here. 11:03 left in the second. And that kick is good. So the Maryland Terrapins are on the board, cutting the Virginia Cavalier lead in half. 11:03 remaining in the second quarter from Scott Stadium in Charlottesville. Now the scoreboard reads Virginia 14, Maryland 7. Terrapins on the scoreboard here in Charlottesville. on that 1-yard touchdown run by Troy Jackson. 14-7 Virginia leading with 11:03 left in the second quarter play, and the coach talking to his tailback right there. That 80-yard scoring drive, 17 plays, 6:08 the time consumed. And now Virginia gets the football for the third time in this game. They have scored on 2 drives previous. One going 69 yards, the other 87 yards in length. Let's see what they can do it here. And the kickoff for the Maryland Terrapins. And to the 10-yard line, the Cavaliers will return it. And getting a hole is Larry Holmes. And he brings it out to the 36-yard line. A 27-yard return for Larry.
Virginia scoring on those first 2 drives has set the tempo. But now the Maryland defense has a little bit of rest from that long drive that their offense scored on. The question is, can they get the ball back from these guys and get it going again? They need a turnover or something.
Herman goes in motion. And Sean will give it to Nicky Fisher. He is met by Whittier. Drags him a couple of yards over the 40 to the 41-yard line. You're only down a touchdown, Jess. Do you start maybe to gamble a little more defensively, or do you just try to play it straight up and hope that you can stop them?
I think you're down by 2 touchdowns. Ordinarily, you'd think don't gamble that much, but they've only had the ball twice, and they've scored on both possessions. You got to start doing something to stop these guys. Gambling would be a pretty good idea.
2nd and 5. Mundy in motion. And straight ahead. The fullback getting the call once again for the Cavaliers. George Welch has been pretty content to keep it on the ground today, and why not, the way they've moved the ball. Gary Steele getting the carry that time. But we have not yet called the number of Herman Moore in terms of receiving a pass.
This is where Virginia loves to have you. 3rd and 2, so they can go to whoever they want to.
In fact, Moore just came out of the game. Wondering about his toe. He's got turf toe. It was a nagging problem for him last week at North Carolina. Still bothered him this week, but of course got the start. Moore rolling, throwing, incomplete for Gary Steele. Would have had the first down, but incomplete at the Virginia 48-yard line.
Bob, you're talking about Herman Moore's toe. Last week it wasn't that bad. You're playing on a natural grass field. Here, not only is it gonna get a little worse on you, but as the game goes on and you take the pounding on this AstroTurf, it gets much worse.
That the first incompleted pass for Sean Moore today. Ed Garno, the #1 punter in the ACC, at 44 yards per punt, waiting to boot it to Mike Hobson of the Maryland Terrapins. 9:36 left, second quarter. Virginia leading Maryland 14-7. Maryland has 10 up at the line of scrimmage. Can't get the pressure on, though, and Hobson will return from the 15. Cuts back, gets a couple of extra yards to the 29-yard line. A 41-yard punt and a 14-yard return for Maryland. The announcers for this game selected and compensated by JP Sports. This broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Atlantic Coast Conference is prohibited. Bob Rathman, Jess Atkinson at UVA. Cavaliers 14 and Maryland 7. And we take a look and a listen at referee Dale Phillips. He is sorting things out here. Did not see the flag go down, but thrown back at the line of scrimmage.
We have holding, post-scrimmage kick enforcement against the defense. It's their ball, first down.
So the penalty will move the Terrapins back after the good return by Mike Hobson, but the penalty negates it. And the football brought back to the 19-yard line. Elsewhere in the ACC today, 2 traditional rivals getting together in Durham. Second quarter, North Carolina is leading Duke 14-7. And in the Big Ten today, we have an update for you. It's Minnesota leading Michigan 3-0 in the first quarter. Well, the eyebrows of Jess Atkinson went up when that score was posted. Mr. Ann Arbor
That's
sitting
right.
here to my left.
I was born and raised on the maize and blue.
Well, the spot of the penalty,
You know, this looks
It
like
was the-
instant replay in the NFL.
it was the 19, so they'll move it back half the distance.
Half the distance to where? Maryland?
No, the Terrapins really backed up the football at their own 8. 14-7. Virginia leading. And here's Jackson getting the call. Johnson trying to seal a block on the corner, but couldn't do it.
Number 27, the defensive end, Benson Goodwin, did a great job of holding his ground on that play and forcing Jackson to stutter step and make him go outside. And the Terps just don't have the speed to turn the corners. You'll see Barry Johnson try to get him, but he can't move him anywhere. Benson's just giving him that arm, releasing his outside shoulder, and Jackson's not going to be able to get around him.
Jackson again straight ahead. And he is met and brought down immediately by James Pearson, the inside left linebacker. Jackson has been a workhorse here in the first half. 14 carries at 29 yards, and he put the Terps on the board at the end of that last drive with a 1-yard touchdown run. Just 5'9" and 200-pounder.
You gotta love them short little guys.
3rd down and 5 now. Zolak brings the Terps up to the line of scrimmage. Zolak will run. And he dives for the first down. Did he make it? I believe he did, yes. Out to the 20-yard line. Well, that was a big gainer in the first quarter for Zolak. So on a 3rd and 5, backed up in their own territory, again, they go to the quarterback draw.
Gutsy call. You got a quarterback as big as Zolak. You're hoping that he can get his head of steam and shoulders turned up field, and that he doesn't have to sidestep that many guys. He did have to sidestep a few on that, but still got the first down.
Zolak has picked up 30 yards and 4 rushing attempts. 1st and 10 for the Terrapins. 7:40 left in the second. 14-7 Virginia. And this running play goes nowhere. Just a couple of yards. Troy Jackson again getting the carry, and that time it was Tyrone Lewis, the strong safety, number 9, the junior from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
You can find this guy all over the field, on the corners and in the middle. He is maybe their best tackler. He can get outside, he can get guys because he's got the speed, plus he's got those guns that he can just stick it in there and hold up fullbacks on the inside also.
Phillips in motion. Zolak with pressure, screen left, and complete. 30, 35, 40, and pushed out of bounds. Tony Covington coming over to make the play, but a nice catch and run that time by Mark Mason. 18-yard pickup.
Mason just once again shifts out of the backfield, and there's nobody there. And the reason is because Lewis has Barry Johnson all the way down the field. Covington couldn't get over in time. Mason picks up a big first down. That's what we're talking about. In order for the Terps to get some drives and get some points, they got to make some big plays.
Mark Mason, just a freshman. Zolak now has completed 4 straight. And the Terps out of a big hole. Now to the play action. And Zolak down the sideline. And incomplete. Barry Johnson could not hang on to it. Jeffries defending, but boy, Barry Johnson would love to have that one back. One of the more sure-handed receivers in the ACC. Couldn't make the connection.
Ordinarily the most sure-handed receiver for the Terps. He and Zolak are good friends on and off the field, you might say. Zolak's going to take this drop, and this is the first time we've seen Scott, with the play action, come back, set himself up, and make the timing right on the button.
Handoff this time, and Jackson over the 40 to about the 42. Picks up about 2, maybe 3 yards. And it's going to set up a 3rd down and long situation. Virginia leading Maryland 14-7. Been an interesting first half. The Cavaliers came down with their first 2 drives of the game and just blew the doors off the Maryland defense. But since then, the momentum has changed. Maryland put a long drive of its own on the board, and now they're trying to convert a 3rd and 8 to keep this drive going. Looking for a tying touchdown. Zolak throwing and complete, and Thomas does not have the first down. He made it only to the 47-yard line. And it's going to set up 4th and 3, and Maryland will punt it away.
Smart play by Jason Wallace. He gave a little bit of cushion, but not enough so that when Thomas got it, he had a chance to put on that speed and get the first down.
Dan DeArmond will punt. Jason Wallace is the deep man for Virginia. 2 punts for 29 yards, but this is the first one here in this quarter, and DeArmond will have the wind at his back. And he booms this one to the 5-yard line. Wallace, 15, hit and dropped at the 17. Page with the tackle, and a timeout on the field. 5:17 left here in quarter number 2. Virginia 14, Maryland 7. We pause for this word from your local station. Here in the second, here's Sean Moore back to pass on first down. He's under pressure. He escapes. Now will run to the 20 and out of bounds at the 25-yard line. An 8-yard pickup for the Cavaliers on first down. Scott Whittier chasing him out of bounds eventually along with Mike Thomas. The 3rd run, the 39th yard advanced via the ground game by Sean Moore. We mentioned the windy conditions, and boy, it's blowing a gale right now, and the wind is in Virginia's face as they drive from right to left. And windy on the field as well. The tassels on the goalpost are straight out. Cavaliers with that second team offensive line in with Collins, Dixon, Samick, and Reed on the game. Tomlin is still in there at right guard. Here comes the toss. Fisher trying to get outside and does. 35-yard line. Finally out of bounds in front of the Virginia bench at the 40. Hollis finally pushed him out, but a big gain for Nicky Fisher.
Man, what speed'll do for you. Sean Moore just pitches it to Fisher. Bradford, 47, has the angle on him at first, but Fisher just finds that corner, and then he's outrunning all the linebackers and defensive linemen for the Terps. It's up to a defensive back to make that tackle, and it was 27 Hollis.
A 15-yard pickup for Nicky gives him 29 yards this afternoon. 1st and 10 Cavaliers. And the whistles stop this play before it starts. 4:57. The time remaining here in the first half. Virginia leading Maryland 14-7.
We have a dead ball foul, false snap, false start.
There's a mix-up. That second, can you tell Tim Samick knows he did a boo-boo?
There's no eraser right there on the videotape. The snap and then the second snap. So that'll be the first penalty against the Cavaliers. Always a key statistic, what they do on first down in Virginia, and that's running the ball. They're getting 5 yards a clip. 1st and 15. And it's complete at the 46-yard line. Making the grab, Derek Dooley. An 11-yard pickup. So most of the penalty yardage has been gained back on that reception by the senior from Athens, Georgia.
I love the way this Dooley guy plays. He just plays within himself. He doesn't try to be a hero. He'll just run a simple out pattern. The ball's right there. He'll catch it. He's a guy that you know if you go to, it's a kind of ball control thing, and if you're going to throw it to him, chances are he'll catch it. Real tough-nosed ball player. Real overachiever, too.
Derek wide to the left side. Moore 5 of 6 for 57 yards and throwing the ball. Fisher. Someone had him around the ankles, and that someone was Maroney. And they'll give him a gain out to the 47. Also getting off the bottom of the pile, Larry Webster, number 99, the left tackle. All-America candidate for the Cavaliers, the 5th leading tackler for Maryland. Junior from Elkton.
6'5", 270. You know, he doesn't look like a mean guy, does he? He's got a nice smile. He wouldn't hurt a fly.
3rd and 3 now for the Cavaliers. Herman Moore going in motion. Sean coming to the other side. Had a chance. Oh, what a great fake. 40 and out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
We've talked about Sean Moore's ability to do it all, to run, throw. We've talked about how good at decisions he makes. That's it. I mean, he's got the feeling that he can do whatever he wants, and he gets out of bounds before even getting hit.
We talked earlier about Sean deserving the Heisman Trophy. Just a quick check of those statistics tells you that he is indeed one of the leading candidates, and boy, in this part of the country, the favorite. Now, off the reverse, a pass to the end zone, touchdown! Derek Dooley with the grab on the pass from Satola. And the Cavaliers break it back to a 2-touchdown advantage.
Did I say Derek Dooley doesn't do spectacular things?
A 35-yard pass from Satola to Dooley on the reverse. And now Jake McInerney coming in to try the extra point. He's got it. 3:36 remaining in the second quarter, and Virginia takes a 2-touchdown lead for the second time in this game. Nicky Fisher with the handoff to Brian Satola, and then the pass goes deep to Derek Dooley, and the Cavaliers have 6. We'll be back.
Number 13, Brian Satola, is the key on this play. He gets the ball, he sets himself, but if you're number 4, Ron Reagan, the defensive back, what must it feel like right there to look back, knowing the ball's going over your head, and all Dooley has to do is catch it?
A sinking feeling, no doubt. 21-7. Virginia leading Maryland. 3:36 to go in the first half, and here comes the line drive kick, fielded at the 25-yard line and returned to the 38. Darren Colvin, the man who made the return for the Terps. Another healthy scoring drive for the Cavaliers. 6 plays, 83 yards. It took 1:41. Dooley catching the 35-yard touchdown pass. The 3 drives for Virginia today have accumulated 9 minutes and 10 seconds of time on the clock.
Those kind of touchdowns and drives really take the wind out of you when you're playing against them. To go 83 yards in 1:41, it's tough to come back from.
Zola. Now the Terps come with some of their own trickery, but not to be deceived. Chris Slade.
Chris Slade was not fooled in the least. Kind of a gutsy call for Krivak to come back and try to do the same thing to the other guys that they did to him. The fake handoff, Slade isn't having any of it. And it's interesting, he grabs him from behind and just hog wrestles him to the ground. Is that hog wrestling or cow wrestling?
I don't know.
Put the
I didn't think
clamps
they
on.
had those things at the University of Maryland. Jess, I didn't know you were familiar with them. Zolak in the straight drop. Left side. It's going to be complete. Brett Boley trying to get some of that lost yardage back. They dropped 10 when Slade busted the reverse. Now the pass to Brett Boley.
Number 16, McMeans, did a great job of not letting Boley get his shoulders turned upfield so he could get some of that big beef and some of that momentum going forward, because McMeans isn't that big, but he's a smart player that knows that once a guy gets the ball, he can't let him turn upfield.
2 minutes and 15 seconds, the time remaining. Zolak today 9 of 17 in the air for 95 yards. Zolak wants to throw, does, incomplete, through the hands of the 40-yard line of the intended receiver, and that time it was Dan Prunzik. And the Cavalier defense gives the ball right back to the offense. Covington covering. So the punt coming here from Dan DeArmas, 35.3 and 3 punts so far today. And Jason Wallace back for the Cavaliers at his own 25. 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. The punt with the wind. Wallace drifting to his left, has it 30. Waits 35 and taken down at the 40. A 39-yard punt for Dan DeArmas. And with 1:50 left here in the first half, the Cavaliers will get one more crack at it.
It's not that they scored in 1:41 last time. Everybody saw and everybody knows how easy it is for Virginia to score quickly. Last year, they threw the ball up to Herman Moore for a touchdown at the end of the half. They got 1:50 to go. Might be a nail in the coffin to let him score here.
Sean Moore throwing. Incomplete, nearly intercepted that time by Mike Thomas, the free safety. The intended receiver was Terrence Tomlin.
Even though Mike saw the ball coming, he's got to be thinking to himself, there's no way Sean Moore could throw a bad pass. But Moore just takes his drop, 3 steps, throws it quick and throws it high. Thomas just didn't get the break, and it's just beyond his reach.
2nd and 10. Dooley, the intended receiver. Moore 5 for 7 for 57 yards. Over the middle to Kirby. Spun down at the 43-yard line. We'll keep one eye on the clock for you. 1:35 left here. First half, Virginia leading 21-7. Virginia going without the huddle here as Moore floats it long and incomplete. Dooley was standing at the 42 of Maryland, but that pass way too tall. And the safeties and the corner men back deep, Thomas and Hollis, to defend against the long pass. And now Ed Garno will come on to punt the football. So the Terrapins will have it back, and they've still got 2 timeouts at their disposal. And 1:17 left. Garno's 2nd punt today. Terps have 10 men up on the line of scrimmage. And here they come. A Virginia roll. Finally picking it up is Hobson, and he can just get a couple yards back to the 18.
First thing they tell you as a punt returner, don't let that ball hit the ground, and if it does, move up so you can pick it up and you don't get that, the other team doesn't get that 15, 20-yard roll off it.
44-yard punt for Ed Garno. And that will give Maryland the ball with 1:06 remaining in the second quarter. Cavaliers lead 21-7. Out to the 18. Terps with 3 wide receivers. Zolak throwing, and this one tipped and incomplete. Covington got a hand on it. An incomplete pass stops the clock with 1:01 left in the second quarter.
Joe Hall, number 78 for the Cavaliers, got some pressure on Zolak, made him throw it high. That's been the problem that Zolak has had. When he gets that pressure, he'll throw it high.
Second and 10. Short. It's Thomas to the 26. And it's going to set up a 3rd down situation.
This is where we get to see Zolak's leadership ability. The coaches feel very comfortable with him directing this team. Although this is his first year playing, he has done a great job of leadership for these guys.
35 seconds left. Zolak complete to his tight end, Brett Boley. To the 36, that's a 1st down. The clock stops as they move the chains. Maryland has 2 timeouts left. The clock will start when the ball is marked ready for play.
All they need to do is get the ball to the 35-yard line of Virginia, and DeArmas has the leg to get it there from 52, maybe from 55, especially with a wind.
Zolak to the near side, intended for Thomas, but too long. Wallace defending. That stops the clock with 19 seconds left.
Virginia's cornerbacks realize that what they have to do is just play a prevent here and not let any of these guys get behind them. So the worst they can give up pretty much is a field goal. Don't let them get down there. Keep everything in front of you.
Coming up at halftime, we'll check out our ACC Student Athlete of the Week. Our One for the Books looks back at just a fantastic ACC football season. Scores, statistics, highlights, all coming up at the hand. Zolak will dump it, and he gets it into the hands of the freshman Mark Mason. Mark gets it out to the 40-yard line. 8 seconds, 7. And it looks like the Terps will, now they jump on the timeout, stopping the clock with 4 seconds left. So Maryland has 1 timeout remaining. Time for one more play. Scott Zolak shaken up. Quick now to his feet to talk to Joe Krivak, but he had a seat back at the 20-yard line after he unloaded that pass.
What they're talking over, it's not that difficult of a call here. What they'll probably do is split 3 wideouts to one direction, almost the way Virginia did to them last year. They don't have a Herman Moore who's 6'5" that can jump up a bunch of the munchkins. But Zolak has a great arm. He can get that ball 60 yards in the air. Throw it up there. Hope for a prayer. Have a bunch of your guys just jump on underneath it. A lot of guys think that this Zolak is at his best when the time's running out on him. That's when he gets a chance to be the leader and doesn't have to worry about the rest of the things.
While we wait for the Terps to go at it, these are the other ACC games today. And, of course, all eyes here in Charlottesville on that game at Wake Forest. A Georgia Tech victory in the Yellow Jackets will represent the league at the Citrus Bowl and pave the way for Virginia to accept a Sugar Bowl invitation. But if Wake Forest should pull the upset and Virginia wins today, the Cavaliers will be the outright ACC champs, and they will be contractually bound for the Citrus Bowl. And a whole lot of folks will be pulling their hair out tonight that sit on bowl commitments. Final play of the half. Zolak to the sideline. This one's going to be intercepted. Jason Wallace on the final play of the half picks it off, and that ends the first 30 minutes of action. So a first half, Jess, where we saw 3 magnificent drives, 2 by Virginia, 1 by Maryland, then a little flea flicker for the final touchdown.
Just a little too much firepower that Virginia has right at this point. The key thing from the first half is Krivak's team in the second quarter got a chance to control the tempo of the game. Came back a little bit, but you see exactly how explosive this Virginia team is by that reverse end around pass to Dooley for a touchdown. Even when you got them and you feel like you got them, they can come back and strike.
And that they did. We are at the half at UVA with the Virginia Cavaliers leading the Terrapins from the University of Maryland 21-7.
Sports exclusive coverage of ACC football is brought to you by BP Oil, makers of high-octane, high-performance gasolines. By Budget Rent-A-Car. For a rental that's loaded with extras at a price that isn't, the smart money is on budget. By your local Oil Heat dealer. Compare cost, comfort, and safety. You'll choose Oil Heat. And by the Schick Slim Twin Disposable Razor. It reaches every place on every face.
Glorious week, so when they faced Georgia Tech here 2 weeks ago, they played an incredible football game, one that will be long remembered. Indeed, it has been a season that has been one for the books.
Delta, the airline of ACC country, is proud to bring you another ACC football one for the books. Delta, we love to fly, and it shows. It's been an exciting and prosperous year for the Atlantic Coast Conference. Individual and team success have led to increased national recognition and many great moments of college football.
you look at our league, their percentage of out-of-conference wins is higher than ever before. We can still possibly have as many bowl teams out there as more than we would have anticipated. Last year we had 4. We could have that again this year. But what happened is Virginia, Clemson, and Georgia Tech have not near gotten the recognition nationally that I think they deserve, because they're good football teams, and they're as good as anybody.
Congratulations to all members of the Atlantic Coast Conference for a great year, and thanks for the memories. This has been another ACC Football One for the Books, brought to you by Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows.
Of course, the reward for a great season is to play in a bowl game. Jess, when you were at Maryland, you played in 3 of them, and this is the way the bowl situation lines up for our ACC clubs. It has to be an exciting time.
It is probably the most exciting time that you have, simply because you've played a whole year and this is your reward. Win or lose, this is your reward.
And, of course, for Virginia, it looks like they're on their way to the Sugar Bowl. But we'll find out how Georgia Tech is doing against Wake Forest in the other key ACC game this afternoon when we continue. Halftime here in Charlottesville, 21-7 UVA. We'll be back after these words from your local ACC station.
In times like these, where are you going to shop for clothes? A high-priced department store? No way. A cotton blend dress be $20.
Down off of any numbers that kind of jump out and hit you, Jess?
Absolutely, the time of possession, for the simple reason Virginia's a team that you can do everything you thought you wanted to do against them and still wind up down 21-7. One of the big reasons it is 21-7, second quarter, this flea flicker to Dooley was just, I mean, this is the kind of thing that takes the wind out of your sails when you're the Terps. You're fighting these guys, you're only down by a touchdown, and then they pull out something like this. It's got to make you think twice, because you know you got to keep coming back, and there's always something they can do to get back up on you.
And the Cavaliers have the option. They have elected to receive to start the second half of play. Leading 21-7 as we start the third quarter here in Charlottesville. The kickoff to start the second half. It is Holmes at the goal line. Out to about the 22 before he is taken down. So the Cavaliers come out with Sean Moore, and we haven't made a big deal out of the fact that the seniors are playing their final home game. As you take a look at the drive chart in that first half of play, touchdowns in 3 of the first 4 possessions, but look how far they went in those drives. But I would think, Jess, that for the seniors going to that locker room at halftime, this is it. This is the last time we'll walk out here.
You got 30 more minutes, and there's no looking back.
To the fullback, Gary Steele with a couple of yards straight ahead.
Look for a lot of this the second half from Virginia, simply because this is where they love playing from. A point, the point that the other team has to come chase them. They got all the weapons, but they also got the running game to wind down the clock. Maryland's defense has got to do one thing this half. They got to force Virginia into turnovers. That's the toughest thing to do against this team.
Or passing, and this one is incomplete and nearly intercepted. Number 56, Glenn Page, the right side linebacker, had a chance to pick off that pass, but it bounded away, an incomplete pass.
Last year, Glenn Page was the Terps' leading tackler with 2 broken hands. And I guess 2 broken hands don't make it that much easier to try to catch balls like this. He's a senior. He's a guy that's been beat up for 3 years and would like nothing more than to end on a winning note and finally have a winning season.
One of the great linebackers in Maryland history. Moore getting some backside pressure, and look out, the ball is loose. And the Maryland Terrapins have it. A blindside hit, and Sean Moore coughs up the football.
Sean Moore's had great protection all day. This is exactly what I was talking about when the Terps need something like this. He's back, he's got time, they're still protecting him. Rick Fleece, number 96, the Terp captain, defensive captain, will wind up recovering this ball. This is the kind of thing the Terps need to get back on, and they need to capitalize on this, too.
Lubo Zizakovic with the hit, and now here's the run play for Maryland. And this is Mark Mason. We should point out that Troy Jackson, the starting tailback, is questionable for the second half with turf toe. So they go to Mason here, right on the first down play.
You know, Virginia's got two backs that allows them to alternate, and the Terps haven't had that. Now Mason's forced to play. He probably is going to be a lot fresher than he usually is. Give it to him.
Mason trying to turn that corner, and he's ridden out of bounds at the 7-yard line. So the turnover here to start the third quarter, giving the Maryland Terrapins a big break as they look to close within a touchdown, trailing 21-7, just underway in the third period of play.
You know, it was 84 when I was with Maryland, and we came in here thinking that all we had to do was get up on Virginia by a couple of touchdowns, and they'd quit on us. They didn't. We didn't wind up winning the game till in the fourth quarter. That seems to be the same way this game is going.
Second and goal at the 7. Zolak rolling, wanting to throw, and does, and out of the end zone. Thomas just draped in that corner and double coverage, and Zolak throws it away.
Scott Zolak did the smart thing there. Nobody will question that. The big question now is, are you in 4-down territory? Do you have to score touchdowns every time you're down there against Virginia in order to win? Because they've got such an explosive attack. Joe Krivak's got to be thinking he needs a touchdown here, not just a field goal.
Third and goal at the 7. Zolak looking. Touchdown, Maryland. Barry Johnson makes the grab in the end zone, and the quick look in, a 7-yard pickup, and it's 21-13.
Don't make it complicated for Zolak. Let him get back there. Don't worry about protecting him. He just gets back, finds the slant to Barry Johnson, and puts it right in on the money. Nice catch by Johnson, too. Barry's the kind of guy that when you get out there, you can count on him. You know, he dropped one earlier, but you can count on him to catch balls like that.
The 11th career touchdown reception for Barry Johnson. Here's DeArmas with the kick, and it is good. Here's a look at the senior from Vienna, Virginia, as he grabs the touchdown pass from Scott Zolak. And with 13:38 left in the third quarter, it's now Virginia 21, Maryland 14. The third quarter, Virginia 21 and Maryland 14. The Terps getting that 7-yard touchdown pass from Zolak to Johnson to close to within 7. And here's the kickoff, and Larry Holmes will return it from his own 8. 20, 25, tripped up to the 27-yard line, and the Cavaliers will have it there, first down and 10. Well, it is our great pleasure to be joined here in the booth by the quarterback's father. Sean Moore's dad, Harold Moore, joins us here in the booth. And Mr. Moore, thank you so much for coming by. It is a pleasure to meet you, and let me congratulate you for the great job you did of parenting this young man. Boy, he is quite an athlete and quite a scholar, and I know you've got to be just as pleased as you can be.
Yeah, I'm very proud of Sean as an individual and as an athlete, and just an all-around person.
And the Cavaliers nearly turn it over again. Now, penalty flag goes down. It looks like UVA will hang on to the ball. They turned it over on their last possession that led to a touchdown, and they nearly coughed it up again. We should tell you that Sean Moore, it has just been announced that
5 yards.
As the call goes against the Cavaliers, it should be announced now that the Kodak folks have named Sean Moore as the first-team quarterback on their All-American team. And just the first of what will be many postseason accolades. And, of course, I know you're hoping for a trip to New York on December the 2nd.
It will be wonderful. We're definitely looking for that trip to New York. And hopefully we can walk away with that Heisman Trophy. It's going to be a close race.
I've just got a feeling he's going to win it. I don't know why, but when you combine scholarship and athleticism like he has, to have already earned his degree and working in graduate school and still playing great quarterback for the Cavaliers, but the Terrapins seem to have caught a second wind here after that turnover, and they shut down the Cavalier run that time with Glenn Page, the right side linebacker.
Harold, what I want to know is, do you have a spot on the mantle or in the house that you're going to put the Heisman? I mean, do you kind of walk by that spot and look at it and say, something just might be there?
No, we haven't prepared anything like that, but if we were to walk away with it, we'd have a place ready right quick. It wouldn't take much time to get a place ready.
Clear off all the bookshelves.
Right.
I know you're excited for Sean, but you got to be excited, too, for this Cavalier football team, where they've come from to where they are now.
This is quite an outstanding team that Coach West has put together.
Here's a completed pass up to the 30-yard line as Derek Dooley makes the grab for the Cavaliers, and that brings the football out to the 31-yard line, but it is going to be shy of a first down, and will set up about a 3rd down and 9-yard to go situation.
This is where ordinarily you can go to Herman more, but we haven't heard much about him today. I don't know if it's the toe or what it is, but this is generally the situation that Sean likes to throw the ball to Herman.
Pressured, goes to the other side, and Dooley, it's out of bounds, a completed catch, but not enough for a first down. You see the Maryland coaches starting to clap their hands. Joe Krivak leading the cheers. Well, the reason they're not throwing to Herman, some sticky Maryland defense.
The thing you got to do is you got to make sure you know where he is at all times, because even if you got him covered, Sean can just throw the ball high to him, but we haven't seen that today. He's been forced to go to his secondary receivers.
Ed Garneau with the punt here. And some heavy pressure by Maryland. Terps return to the 39-yard line as Mike Hobson brings it back. Well, the Terrapins have been placing 10 men on the line of scrimmage, and they nearly got to this one.
That was a great job of getting the pressure on the punter, but not going so far as that you're roughing.
First down at 10 for Maryland. And the toss comes to Mason. Over the 40 out to the 42. I'll tell you one thing, Mr. Moore, the Cavaliers and their fans have gotten a little more than they bargained for today. Boy, Maryland's proving to be quite a tough opponent.
We know coming into the game it was going to be a hard game. Maryland's playing us for a winning season. They're 5-5, and they have nothing to lose. Go all out today.
Well, again, our congratulations to you, your family, and your magnificent son.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Harold Moore, the father of Cavalier quarterback Sean Moore, joining us here as we pick up the play now. 2nd down and 8 with the ball on the Maryland 41-yard line. And the toss. Mason at the 40. Look at that speed on the corner, and he breaks it down the sideline. He is going to be gone. Maryland touchdown. "59 yards for freshman Mark Mason. And the Maryland Terrapins have come from 2 touchdowns back here in the 3rd quarter to get even with Virginia. It's 21-20 Cavaliers with the extra point coming up by DeArmond.
They did what Maryland hasn't been able to do. They got to the corner, sealed everybody off, and then it was just a foot race.
A 59-yard touchdown run, and DeArmond looking to tie it up. And it is good. A brand new ball game in Charlottesville. 11:02 remaining in the 3rd quarter. It's now Virginia 21, the Maryland Terrapins 21. And we'll be back with the Maryland kickoff after these words from your local ACC station. Back at Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, number 7 Virginia is now tied with Maryland, that should say, 21-21 with 11:02 remaining in the third quarter. As the Terrapins get set to kick it away. A brand new ball game. The Terps scoring 2 touchdowns in 2 minutes and 36 seconds here in the third quarter to tie this one up. But now they'll boot it away, and the Terps set to kick it here. The wind at their backs, and I think the ball just fell off the tee as the Maryland Terrapin, Fred Ensign, got ready to kick it away.
If you know Fred, I used to work with Fred on his kicking, and if you know him, for some reason, those kind of things just seem to happen to old Fred.
It's like Lucy pulling the ball away from Charlie Brown.
Smart for him not to try to kick it, though. Very smart play on his part by not trying to kick it, because once you kick it, man, it's gone. It's in play.
Bill Inge will hold it now. And Mr. Ensign will try it again. Here's the Holmes from the 1-yard line. Out to the 23. Here's a look at that last Maryland touchdown as a loose ball here, and they're starting to get the players separated. We'll take a look at the replay here on the touchdown.
You know, we talked about big plays. This is the biggest play Maryland's had all year. Couple of missed tackles. They sealed the corner, and Mason's just left running by himself. I tell you what's interesting about this is Krivak's come under a little bit of fire for not making adjustments in the second half. Reason being, they've only scored 19 points all season in the third quarter. They come out, they get a turnover, they've got 14 now. It's with the win. They still need to keep building, because fourth quarter they're going against the wind.
I guess it must have been a change of scripts at halftime for Coach Krivak. I was reading those same stories this week, and boy, the Maryland club has come out and played an outstanding third quarter to get right back into this game and tie it up. 21-21. First and 10 for the Cavs on their own 23. Kirby looking for a hole, but the Maryland defense stops him after a pickup of about 4 yards. Here is the scoring in the third quarter, and just mentioned the fact that they posted only 19 third quarter points. Of course, Virginia, with its high-powered offense, they outscore everybody in every quarter.
And this is a second half unlike any, because for a lot of people, this is going to be the last second half they ever play.
Fake to Kirby. Sean Moore rolling. Whittier chasing him. Tiptoes the sideline and out of bounds at the 39-yard line. That's a first down for the Cavaliers.
Doesn't he remind you of Randall Cunningham in the way he can get to the corner quickly? Whittier will have a shot at him, but Moore's not really concerned with him because he knows his speed will get him around the corner. And it's very frustrating for a defense when Sean's running the ball like that and you still don't get a hit on him and he runs out of bounds before you can get to him. Very frustrating.
Last year, Sean Moore ran for 3 touchdowns and passed for 2 in a 48-21 victory at College Park. Today, he's rushed the ball for 63 yards. Here's teammate Terry Kirby, and he brings it out near midfield. The Taft sophomore getting that Cavalier ground game cranked up here in the second half. Jack Bradford making the tackle.
Just because a couple of quick touchdowns by the Terps, George Welsh is not going to leave what's gotten him here. I mean, he's still going to try to pound that ball off, not pound that ball out, not panic, give it to the guys. I mean, he's rode Kirby and the Moores all year. Nothing's going to change.
Kirby, 58 yards this afternoon. Herman Moore coming in motion. Sean getting some pressure. Going for Herman down the sideline. It is going to be intercepted by Maryland. The Terrapins pick off the pass, as making the grab appears to be cornerback Michael Hollis, number 27. He is credited with the interception, and Maryland has the ball back. The interception for the Maryland Terrapins. The second Cavalier turnover in the first 5.5 minutes of this third quarter. And they, Terps, now have it back on their own 8-yard line.
That shows you a little bit about what Coach Krivak is about. Good plays, no matter what. That's folding his arms is the thing that Herman Moore does when he catches a pass. Krivak has a big play like that, but he is not going to let his players get out of hand. He wants them to act like they've been there before. I bet you Coach Krivak was chewing his ear. Score one for the Munchkins on this, because I would have never thought that these little guys could come up with an interception when Sean knows all he's got to do is throw the ball up, and Moore will be able to get the ball. A jump ball, Moore gets it, but not this time.
Here's Mason. And just a couple of yards as the Cavaliers' Tyrone Lewis comes in to finish off the play. Now this Cavalier team is defensively now fired up as the Terps got the ball back after the interception. 9:05 remaining, clock running, third quarter, all tied in Charlottesville. Maryland 21, Virginia 21.
Virginia was in this situation against Georgia Tech, and Maryland's been in this situation plenty of times.
Mason up to the 13. Picks up 4. That's going to set up a third down and about 5 yards to go. Joe Hall, one of the Cavalier captains, making the tackle on this freshman whose 59-yard touchdown run moments ago got the Terps even.
The Terps without the depth, that's what's hurt them this year. In the second half, they haven't been able to keep the same level of intensity. The question is, can they do that today when you know Virginia is used to this kind of thing and has gotten their players a little bit more breathing time?
3rd and 5. Zolak batted down, incomplete. Ron Carey, the nose guard, was the man who broke up the pass play. And Maryland forced a punt.
Zolak drops back. This is unusual for a guy that's 6'5". Carey gets his arms up and just throws it right. He's throwing the ball to Barry Johnson, who would have been close to that first down. Carey did a great job. That's what you want to do. When you see the quarterback starting to throw, you want to get your hands up. Even if you're a short, squat, little nose guard, you got to get your hands up because you got big hands.
Dan DeArmas will punt from his own goal line. Jason Wallace at the 50. And a big punt with the wind. Wallace backpedals to the 40. 50. Breaks clear 40. Down the sideline. Cuts back. He's gone. Touchdown, Virginia.
Jason Wallace does a nice job to backpedal and just catch this ball, and then just starts running by everybody. DeArmas, the punter, you see down at the bottom of the screen, gets blocked, and Wallace, I mean, he's having fun now. There's so many weapons this Virginia team has.
A 60-yard punt return for the touchdown by Jason Wallace to make it 27-21. And now Jake McInerney coming on to add the PAT. He's got it. 7:50 left in the third quarter, and another interesting twist and turn here in what has been a whale of a game between Maryland and UVA. Virginia 28 and the Maryland Terrapins 21. That is the first punt return that the Cavaliers have taken back for a touchdown this season.
You think Jason's enjoying himself? He's hitting hands. He better watch it. He's going to break somebody's hands. Here it is again. DeArmas gets off a great punt. Wallace sees it. He's got a backpedal. You'll see the Virginia players trying to get the angle on their man. All they got to do is shield him. They don't necessarily have to block him. DeArmas, who is a tough-nosed player, just, you got a blocker out there. How are you going to be the safety man? And Wallace just trots into the end zone. Not bad for those cornerbacks. They enjoy getting into the end zone once in a while, you know? And that's the kind of thing, when you have a big play like that, and Virginia can keep coming back and keep making those big plays, If this was any other game, I'd say this game might be over. But these Terps seniors still, they don't even have 30 minutes left. This is their last shot, so they're not going to quit.
28-21 Virginia, 7:50 left. And the line drive punt, kicked at the 15, picked up at the 19, and finally returned by Doug Stump for about a yard to the 24-yard line. For Virginia, number 28, Greg McClellan, off the bottom of the pile. So the Terps come out, and they've got it 1st and 10 now at their own 24-yard line. 7:44 left in the third quarter. Third quarter also in Durham this afternoon. The Tar Heels have taken a field goal lead over Duke, 17-14. And Georgia Tech on its way to the ACC championship, 28-0 over Wake Forest. Second quarter, Clemson over South Carolina, 14-3. Zolak looking, and will dump it to Boley, the tight end, 30 to the 32. Benson Goodwin made the tackle on Boley, his 4th catch of the day. That one for 9 yards, giving him 33 for the afternoon.
That time, Boley got a chance to catch the ball, turn his shoulders upfield, and go into Benson Goodwin, the linebacker, and get those yards. So now they're making first downs, and that's the thing they want to be doing right now at this point. They just want to start moving those chains and get back.
First down for the Terps, and this is Mason to the 35. Seems to be a lot of pushing and shoving and mouthing down on the field, and I'm sure the referees are going to be taking charge of the situation to keep it clean.
Colvin's the Terps' biggest back. He's a guy that you put in there just because you think that Virginia, you're trying to wear him down. You got a big back like that in there, almost like a Kirby type of guy. The tackling him is just going to be a little tougher and is going to wear him down that much more.
Colvin, a sophomore from Belcamp, Maryland, 6'1", 237. Phillips in motion. The toss to Mason. Cuts back and wiggles his way to the 40-yard line. Needed 3 more to get the first down. It will be 3rd down and about 3 yards to go.
Because of the injury to Jackson, Mason didn't realize coming into this game that he was going to get this type of work. And it's a credit to these guys when they can come in with not a lot of playing time and still make plays like he's making. That's what you need out of a team.
They'll long remember that 59-yard touchdown run that tied the game at 21. Jason Wallace's punt return for the touchdown, giving the Cavs the lead, and now the defense holds on 3rd and 3. Kenneth Miles got in there to make the tackle, and Maryland is going to punt it away.
This Virginia defense has risen to the occasion. That's twice in a row after this game's tied that it's almost 3 plays and out, but at least you're not letting them cross midfield. Of course, now you don't even worry about putting your offense in there because the last time Wallace brought it back all the way. You know the guy can make a big play like that.
Yeah, Wallace buckling that chin strap and ready to go. Now the fake. Here's DeArmas, 45-50. Down to the Cavalier 46-yard line. Boy, a great call for the Terps as they fake the punt and get the first down out of it. Boy, there's no need to hold anything back today, that's for sure.
Whoever said those kickers weren't athletes? DeArmas just gets this ball. Nice fake. He's off and running. I'll tell you, the most impressive thing about this, man, he isn't going to jump out of bounds. He's going to bowl you over. And the thing is he can go back now and say, yeah, I'm a regular ball player. I should be a running back.
Jess Atkinson, president of the SRK Club, Society of Retired Kickers. Mason trying to get to that corner, but this time Virginia negating the charge after just a 1-yard pickup.
We talked about Krivak. His job may be in the balance. You know he's going to pull out everything he's got in order to get these guys a win, in order to keep keep the momentum that they've gone. It's been a lot of different ways. Nobody would have thought it would have been a fake punt there. And DeArmas, kickers are great because we got explanations for things, man. We know what's going on. It's just we got to tell people.
4 minutes to go, third quarter, 28-21. Virginia leading. Zolak looking and going over the middle, and it's going to be complete at the 25-yard line. Low to the ground. Prairie Johnson made the catch. And the Terps have it first and 10 at the Cavalier 26.
It's not going to be a popular call, but Zolak gets back there, stands in the pocket. He's got... Johnson goes down.
Hard to tell on that angle. Let's see here.
How about this angle? This is close.
Good catch.
He went down on the ball.
28-21 and a break into the middle. Here's Mason down inside the 15 to the 12-yard line.
This kid's running like it's his last game. Mason gets a big hole right up the middle. They got Carey turned. The linebackers can't get off their blocks, and it's just McMeans makes the tackle on that. That's what he's there for. He missed the tackle on that long touchdown, but that time he tripped him up, got him down. That's the guy you got to stop. 12 rushes for 91 yards. The Terps, it's been a while since they've had a guy over 100 yards.
13 yards on that last pickup. And again, it's Mason getting the call inside the 8 and down to about the 7-yard line. As the Cavaliers look to knot this one up once again. 28-21 Virginia. What a great game this has been. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
We talked about him not getting a lot of chances to play. At this point, it's a blow for him. He needs a rest. He's been the workhorse of this team. He's not used to carrying a ball this much.
The Maryland Terrapins bidding for the equalizing score with Zolak at the controls. And this is Colvin. And maybe a yard. Number 79 for Virginia, Kenneth Miles. In there on the tackle for UVA. Colvin, a sophomore. 2:20, clock running, third quarter.
Colvin's going to stay in the game. They're not going to put Mason in, which probably will take away a lot of that, unless they're planning on going and trying to pick up this first down or touchdown in 2 plays and going for it on 4th down.
Zolak sends Johnson in motion. Rolling left. Has time. To the end zone. In the back corner, touchdown. Gene Thomas. And the Terps come back and close to within a point.
They got Gene Thomas from a junior college, Montgomery Rockville, and this kid has made nothing but big plays. Usually it's long ones, but this one was just a short one. He got to the back of the end zone. Everybody forgot about him, and he was right there and open.
Gene Thomas, the man who caught the game-winning touchdown pass in the first game of the year with a minute to go to beat Virginia Tech. Now catches the touchdown pass here in the third quarter as the Terps again look to tie it. 28-27 Virginia, 1:52 left. The kick is good. All even in Charlottesville. The number 7 Cavaliers having all they can handle with the Maryland Terrapins today. 1:52 to play in the third. We're all even at 28. Kickoff, 28-28. The Terps and the Cavs with 1:52 to play in the third quarter. And here is the kickoff. And it is going to be short, taken at the 16-yard line. Cavaliers returning with Gerard Washington. And take it down at the 25-yard line. Jess Atkinson, the Terps have had 4 possessions this half. 3 have resulted in touchdowns.
And this one, Zolak gets out. He's patient. He wants to throw it, but he's holding it, and then he sees Thomas in the back, who's just sitting there all by himself. You just got to make sure you catch it and you got your feet in bounds. Even the cheerleaders are getting excited about this. I guess that's their job, right?
28-28. 1:46 to play in the third quarter. Fisher breaks out of the pack and up to the 38-yard line. Nice run for Nicky on first down. Picks up close to the first down. Fisher today with his 6th carry He got 9 yards on that one, giving him 37 for the afternoon.
Nicky Fisher generally takes over for Kirby, but now you got both guys. You got to get them in, and you got to make sure that both of the guys are getting the work that they need so they're feeling comfortable, because you know this game is going to come down to the fourth quarter, and whichever team has the stamina and whichever team's had the most guys coming in and out is going to give you a better shot at winning.
So the Cavs do indeed stretch it out to get the first down. A 10-yard run for Nicky Fisher. This is a Cavalier team that leads the nation in points per game at 44.3, number 3 nationally in total offense. And a punt return for a touchdown has him in front. Has an even. Here's the toss, and Fisher on the corner, tightrope in that sideline and out of bounds at the 47. The Cavaliers, Jess, had moved the ball on the ground all afternoon.
Well, that's the key to these running backs for the Cavaliers. They have the ability to turn it on, get out there, and get moving upfield. And they're a load when they're starting to move upfield.
But you know, when you think about it, you go back to the first 2 drives of the game, methodically Virginia took it down the field, but since then the 2 touchdowns have been a flea flicker and a punt return. Inside handoff, and the fullback, Gary Steele, grinds it ahead to the Maryland 43-yard line.
Give it to that fullback. This in a lot of ways looks like their initial drive of the game. They come out, they're running the ball, they're picking up yards. They've got maybe 2nd and 6. Now they can run or throw, and they're keeping Maryland on their heels and keeping them guessing.
40 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Tied at 28. Toss, Fisher, 40, 35, and a first down for the Cavaliers. Some good option running for Nicky Fisher here this drive. Jack Bradford credited with the tackle.
I think this will pretty much bring us to the end of the third quarter, and it's important to note that now Virginia's going to have the win. It's going to be very difficult for the Terps to get back and keep this thing going into the win.
Total yards certainly turning around here in the second half in favor of the Terps. Sean Moore wants to throw and does, and it is going to be incomplete at the 25-yard line. Derek Dooley, the intended receiver, and that will be the final play of the third quarter here at Scott Stadium in Charlottesville. The number 7 Virginia Cavaliers and the Maryland Terrapins tied at 28. Back with the fourth quarter in a moment. Atkinson back at UVA. Maryland 28, the Cavs 28 as we start the fourth quarter. In the third period, the Maryland Terrapins putting together some big offensive numbers. 163 total yards as compared to Virginia's 83, but of course the Cavs had that 60-yard punt return for the touchdown, which is not reflected in those numbers. Here's Nicky Fisher being dragged down from behind. A penalty flag was dropped at the line at the snap.
Guys like Page and Whittier are the ones that this is it for them. Not the most talented guys in the world, but they've come to play.
It's a procedure penalty against Virginia that will move it back 5 yards.
We have illegal procedure, live ball foul, 5 yards.
McInerney hit a 51-yard field goal against Georgia Tech. The key for Maryland right now is to not give him this first down, to force him into a tough decision about a field goal. He's got the win, certainly the leg.
Pretty clean game in terms of penalties. Maryland just 10 yards in penalties. Virginia with 15. Here's Moore dumping it on the screen to Kirby. Juggles it, but controls it. But not much of a gain. Only a yard or 2 to the 38. And that will make it third down. And about 13 yards to go. So the screen didn't do much for him.
Just too much traffic in here. You see Rick Fleece, 96, holding his ground. That's a nose tackle's job. He gets rid of his block, and he's right there. There's just nowhere for Kirby to go. That's a nose tackle's job. He's just there to take up space.
Probably the biggest play of the game to date with this Maryland defense. 3rd and 13. Herman Moore goes in motion. Let's see if they look Herman's way. Backside pressure. Moore gets it away, and it's going to be intercepted by the Maryland Terrapins. The interception is made by Scott Rosen. And the Terps get the ball back in a 28-28 tie. The third turnover by Virginia in the second half today.
The key to Maryland's comeback has been the turnovers. Moore gets back. Terrence Tomlin, number 2, is wide open. He's looking around. He finally sees him, and he throws it kind of out of the side. Just throws it high, and Rosen makes the interception.
Scott Rosen, the junior, 6'0", 184-pounder from Philadelphia. And the Terps have it back. And they go with the handoff. And just a couple of yards here as Derek Colvin brings it out. Here's the second half field position. 3 touchdowns in 4 possessions. And of course, taking over at the Virginia 19 after the turnover, setting up the first touchdown.
They kind of remind you of Virginia and how far they've gone and how fast they can strike.
Zolak down the sideline, and this one is going to be incomplete. The intended receiver, Marcus Badgett, on the near side.
Badgett just ran a fly pattern, tried to get to the outside. It's tough for a guy like Zolak, for any quarterback, to throw that far into this kind of wind and not have it hang up there the way it did.
You could almost see that ball as it neared the sideline just start to drift, and there was really nothing that Zolak could do about it. There's a look at the wind, and that wind is going right into the face of Maryland quarterback Scott Zolak as he leads up Maryland 3rd and 7. And it's going to be a completed pass stretching out to the 25-yard line. That will be a Maryland first down. As making the pass play for the Maryland Terrapins, Dan Prunzik. The Terps keep the drive alive.
Prunzik's in motion. He does a great job of knowing where he needs to get to. And when he catches the ball, he's there. He doesn't even, he makes a couple, but when he caught that ball, Prunzik was past where he had to get for the first down. These Terps have played smart ever since they've gotten close in this game. They've done the little things that before they haven't been doing.
Prunzik, sophomore from Pittsburgh now. Some problems in the backfield as Mark Mason got the handoff, but Chris Slade was there to jam everything up and bring him down.
Slade's the kind of guy that you expect as Virginia's defensive coordinator. You expect Slade to make plays like this in the backfield. He's got a knack for making big plays. He just fouls everything. There are more Terps in that pile. You can shake a stick at it.
12:10 remaining in the fourth quarter. All tied in Charlottesville, 48-48. And that wind so strong on the field, it just blew the ball off its mark. So the officials will reset it, and clock will continue. 28-28. It was a 21-7 lead for George Welch and company at the half. The Terrapins came back to tie it up at 21. Zolak with a touchdown pass to Jackson at Mason's 59-yard line. The punt return for the touchdown by Wallace, then Zolak's pass to tie it. And this one is incomplete. Screaming that he made the interception was Keith McMeans, but they ruled it an incompleted pass as they were trying to go to Badgett on the right side.
That would have been McMeans' record-breaking interception. This would have been number 17 for him, a career high. He gets out there, almost grabs it one-handed, but he just kind of bounced it. But he's a senior. He knows how to make up for those kind of things. If you bat it in and you got it anywhere near your stomach, man, make them believe you caught it.
3rd and 14 for Maryland. An equally big play here for the Virginia defense. Zolak floating it, and it's complete, and down the sideline. Badgett, 10, pushed out of bounds at the 7-yard line. On 3rd and 14, Zolak connects with Badgett. And the Terrapins have it first and goal at the Cavaliers 7. A 72-yard pass play.
Pretty much the same play as they ran before. A lot of people up on the line of scrimmage. The Terps know that Benson Goodwin, 27, can't keep up with Badgett, but they also know that he's got him one-on-one. Hey, let him run down the field, try to throw it up so he can just run under it. And he made a great throw on that play.
But the trajectory a little lower and a little stronger throw, knifing into that wind that time.
Nothing like learning something on every time you go out there, huh?
First and goal for Maryland. Johnson in motion. Terps looking to take the lead. Here's Mason trying to get to the corner. Touchback, he's into the end zone for the touchdown. For the first time today, the Maryland Terrapins have taken the lead. Joe Krivak and the Terps now lead Virginia. And sparked by freshman Mark Mason here in the second half. Troy Jackson, their starting tailback, out with turf toe, and the freshman Mark Mason steps into the breach. His second touchdown of the day. He's got a 100-yard rushing day. And the Maryland Terrapins, a 23-point underdog, are just about ready to take a 7-point lead, and they've got it. 11:23 remaining in the fourth quarter in Charlottesville. It is now Maryland 35 and Virginia 28. We'll be back. 5:28, Maryland has taken the lead over Virginia. This the play that set up the go-ahead touchdown.
Badgett just runs underneath it. Like you said, Bob, Zolak learned. He threw that first one up. It got caught in the wind. Let's put this one out there a little bit more. Let him run under it because the wind's going to take it.
And the kickoff for the Terps to the 22-yard line. And it is Washington. Over the 35 to the 37-yard line. And the Cavaliers will have it there. Jess, you talked in the pregame about Virginia's mental approach to this game. They were leading by 2 touchdowns at halftime. But look at what has happened here in the second half.
I'm telling you, when I was a senior, Bob, we came in here thinking we get up a couple of scores and we got this game, Virginia will quit. We got up a couple of scores, they came right back at us and kept coming. Same kind of thing, but roles are reversed.
Now the Cavaliers down 7. And Sean Moore going to work on the option. And the Terps jam it up this time. He had Nicky Fisher there, elected to keep the football, but the Cavaliers denied Sean that time.
That was a great play by number 11, Carl Edwards. He's the man on the corner on this. He's holding his ground. If Moore pitches it right there, Nicky Fisher's running right past Edwards. Edwards held his ground and got lucky that he kept it. But still a good quality play because they're sticking these guys at the line of scrimmage and not getting pushed back.
No gain. 2nd and 10. Fake the toss. Come back with a throw to Herman Moore, and he is going to be tackled, and little or no gain by the left tackle, Larry Webster, number 99.
Big Larry was lumbering to get out on that corner. Once again, they go towards Edwards' side. Just a quick one. They want Herman to get the ball and see what he can do in running. Edwards was not fooled. Things got a little tangled up, and Webster's pursuit. It's that intensity that these guys are playing with. It's making the difference.
That's the first catch for Herman Moore today. And it lost yardage. Sean on 3rd and 11 throws. Incomplete, nearly intercepted. They went to Herman. It was deflected, and number 4, Ron Reagan, nearly came up with the interception. He's really kicking himself that he couldn't finish off the play, but none the worse for wear. The Terps forced the punt.
All year, Sean's been throwing the ball high to Herman. Once again, figures if he gets it up there, it won't be any problem. Herman, I don't know what he was thinking, but it didn't look like he went up for that ball. He just kind of stuck his left hand up. He must have been worried that he was going to get a pop in the side by the little Munchkin defense.
Here's the punt, and a beauty. Back to the 16 on the return by Hobson. And he brings it out to the 26-yard line. Yes, you've got a Maryland situation here after a 47-yard punt and 10-yard return where they've got a 7-point lead, just under 10 minutes to go in the game. How about the offensive philosophy now?
You need more points. when you're playing Virginia. I don't care when you got, what quarter you're in, you always need more points against these guys. The last thing they can do is sit on the ball and think that now that they've got a lead, it's over, because Virginia's shown they can come back.
Johnson in motion. Zolak with a toss. Here's Mason as a hole. Gets to the corner, cuts back. Another beautiful run for this freshman, and out to the 42-yard line.
You know, we talk about effort, and it's got to be, and everybody knows it's got to be 11 guys, but here's Barry Johnson. Knows what his responsibility is. He's got to get Benson Goodwin turned out just long enough for Mason to get by him. Mason's stopping on a dime now. I mean, he's giving that kind of effort that you don't expect from a freshman, and kind of ability that you don't expect.
Mark Mason from Churchill High School in Potomac, 5'8", 180, and all Montgomery County selection last year. Broke all of the Churchill records that were established by Paul Palmer. This is Darren Coleman getting the call this time as Mason comes out to get a breather.
There's one more key for the Terp offense in this. They've averaged 3 turnovers a game. Today, zippo. They cannot turn the ball over and make it easy for Virginia to do anything from here on out. Zolak's got to make sure that these running backs, receivers know they got to hold on to the ball, and you can't make mistakes of turnovers right now.
2nd and 6. 8:45 clock running, 4th and final quarter. 35-28, Maryland leading, and Colvin stacked up. The Cavaliers come defensively that time with a good charge led by Chris Slade. Boy, we've called his name and number a lot this afternoon.
He came to play. That guy, you know, everybody has talked about his ability to make big plays, his size and all that kind of thing. It just goes together with what this Virginia defense is trying to accomplish right now. They need to stop it on 3rd and 7 and get the ball back for their offense.
On the last possession, when Maryland scored, they were backed up 3rd and 14. Popped the big pass down the sideline.
They've been converting 3rd downs.
Zolak looks and throws complete and out of bounds. That will be a first down for the Maryland Terrapins as tight end senior Brett Boley made the grab and headed north for a couple of yards. He takes it into Virginia territory at the 45-yard line. The Terrapins convert another 3rd down as Boley makes the grab to the Virginia 44-yard line.
You notice Zolak's got time here. You know, he's just waiting. He's looking at Boley the whole time, just waiting for him to get open. I mean, this offensive line for Maryland now is giving Zolak the time he needs to make the right decisions.
Mason hit as soon as he got the ball from Zolak. Gets back to the line of scrimmage.
You see Killian and the rest of the linebackers and Jackson coming in and making sure. I mean, now's their time to gamble. You know, now is their time where they got to force a turnover. You know, Welsh talked about, hey, we're going to gamble in this game. Now their back's to the wall and they're being forced to gamble.
Jackson back this week after a pinched nerve kept him out of the Carolina game last week at Chapel Hill. The update on Mark Mason, 17 carries, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. Zolak back to pass, under pressure, and sacked back at the 50-yard line. So the Virginia defense looking for that big play. Got it that time from Kenneth Miles.
Zolak had nowhere to go on that. Got shaken up a little bit. I wouldn't doubt if he got a little bit of, he had a lot of bodies on him that time.
Goes to one knee to call another crucial 3rd down play. Maryland today on 3rd downs, they've converted 8 of 18. Boy, they've had some big conversions here in the second half. Zolak will screen it to Mason. And down the sideline to the 41-yard line, but not nearly enough for a first down. 4th down. Krivak converted one earlier in the first half, backed up in his own territory.
Great time for a screen. They've been coming on both 2nd and 3rd, or 1st and 2nd down. They've been running at them, try to take advantage of that, get some yards so that at the very least you can pin them back there.
Now the Terrapins The 25-second clock now shows 10 seconds as they get up to the football, and Dan DeArmas will punt it away. Jason Wallace is deep for the Cavaliers. DeArmas with the boot. And this one hits and gets a Virginia bounce to the 30 and is down by the Maryland Terrapins at that point. A punt of only 11 yards. What happened on that one, Jess?
Oh, I saw DeArmas looking at the clock. They snapped it with 1 second left. I don't know if he was ready to kick it.
A timeout on the field, 5:36 remaining. Maryland looking to pull off the upsets. Back after these words from your local ACC station. 5:36 left in the fourth. Maryland by 7. Cavaliers have it first and 10 at their own 31-yard line. Sean Moore working out of the eye. And the option. Toss comes, and Fisher out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Let's go back and talk just a little bit, Jess, about that last punt by Maryland, because there's a situation where initially I thought they were going to let the clock run out, take a 5-yard penalty, and try to boot it inside the 10-yard line.
And as it turned out, it would have been smarter. I saw DeArmas back there. He's looking at the clock. It's ticking down on him. They snap it with 1 second, and all of a sudden you got to refocus. You got to get the snap, and you got to kick it, and he just didn't do it fast enough.
So instead of pinning them perhaps back inside the 10, Cavaliers have it now out to the 39-yard line on some straight-ahead running. The clock is becoming a factor. 5:20 left in the game, and Maryland leading by 7. That last carry by Dave Sweeney, the fullback, makes it a 3rd down and 2 situation.
This Maryland team has been the reason, or defense, I'm sorry, has been the reason they've been in so many of these games and been in it close. These guys have made it tough for Welsh to adjust, and they've kept this Maryland team in it late.
The Cavaliers 3 for 8 on 3rd down conversions this afternoon. Moore looking to the short side, cuts back, and it's going to be close. I think he's got the first down, but we'll check. Over that 41-yard line, yes, he's got the first down for Virginia. The possession time, Maryland has it for 34 minutes and 5 seconds. The Virginia Cavaliers a little over 21 minutes. That clock winding now.
That's what Krebeck wanted to do, but still, there's still a long ways to go.
From the 42, 1st and 10. Make to Kirby. Loading one down the field. Incomplete. Derek Dooley at the 39-yard line of Maryland makes the catch, and he suffered a big hit, slow in getting to his feet.
Michael Hollis made the hit, made a great break, and that hurts. He rolls, he sees Dooley from the start. He needs to get to the point to throw it. Throws it, you know Dooley's going to catch it. He's that sure-handed receiver, and boom. If they're going to catch it in front of you, you're thinking on defense, man, you've got to make them pay for it. That's a pretty high price.
Mr. Hollis sure did that.
Surprising he hung on to the ball.
And Derek coming out of the game. Dooley with 5 catches for 80 yards. He picked up 20 on that play. 1st and 10 Virginia at the Maryland 38-yard line. 35-28. Maryland is leading Virginia. And we've got 4:25 remaining in the 4th quarter. Tomlin in motion. Moore is looking and throwing, and it is going to be incomplete. Tomlin coming across, and incomplete pass stops the clock with 4:14 left in the game.
Still, this Virginia team is senior enough. They got enough guys at the right position. 4:14 left. They're not going to panic. Sean Moore's brought them back like this in plenty of games, and I'm thinking that all they need is a touchdown to tie. They won't go for 2. Take your tie, get out of here.
Moore, 2-step drop, now takes off. Down the left side, hit and driven out of bounds in front of the Terrapin bench. Shy of a first down at the 33-yard line.
George Welsh wants to keep, a little bit before he had 3rd and 2, he wants Moore to have the ball. In these types of situations, you want him to have the ball as much as you can because you know he's not going to make the mistakes. He's going to pick up the yards, do what he needs to do. That's the first time he's taken on somebody and not gotten out of bounds. Should tell you something about his mindset coming down here at the end of the game.
Moore has called it his own number 10 times for 71 yards. 3rd down and 3 for the Cavs. Sean rolling, looking, dumps it complete to Herman Moore at the 20, and he's taken out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. That'll be a first down for the Cavs with 4:02 left. Sturdivant was defending. We'll take another look at Herman Moore.
Sturdivant just couldn't get out there. Moore goes in motion, just runs a little type of delay. You watch Sturdivant, number 31. He's lumbering to get over there, and Moore makes it look so easy because he's so fluid. Is this the time where you go up top to Herman and let him jump?
Option, Kirby. Hit and dropped at the 11. Each team with its full complement of 3 timeouts remaining. An injured Maryland Terrapin, that is linebacker Scott Whittier.
As tough as they come, this is a guy that you truly will have to drag off this field because he'll leave it all here. He's a guy that has done so much with his God-given talents that he's been a leader on this team because what'll happen is he'll play hurt. He'll play when things aren't looking that good for him. He'll always find a way to make a play. Here's how he gets hurt.
Scott Whittier from Virginia Beach, Virginia, went to Kempsville High School. Missed all of last year with back surgery. He is the 3rd leading tackler for this Maryland defense. He had 16 tackles in the game at Duke. And shaken up on this play.
He's probably telling J.J. Bush, the Terps trainer, don't take me out. I want to stay. I only got 3 minutes and 36 seconds left of my career. I know I got to leave, but I don't want to go anywhere. So I'm just going to sit here for a while and enjoy myself. It's been a long 5 years for this guy. He's come back from a lot of adversity. Now, Scott, you got to leave.
He'll have to come out at least for one play. Now, Maryland, of course, would lose a timeout, but I got a feeling he'll be right back in the ballgame. 3:36. The time remaining. When the Cavaliers get inside the 20, it's just about automatic. They come away with points, but they need 7 to get even. It's 2nd down and 4 yards to go. Football resting on the 11. Kirby to the 7.
If you're Maryland right now, you're hoping that he got the first down because you don't want to, because it's 4-down territory. You don't want to give him any more shots at this than you want. Give it the first down to him now, and then they only got 4 plays. If it's not, they got 3rd down, 4th down, and then if they make it, all they got to make is a yard. So you're hoping that it's a first down.
Terry Kirby with 76 yards and 13 carries. He had 58 yards at North Carolina last week before the injury that broke his consecutive 100-yard game streak. So the Terrapins, I guess, just get their wish.
It's 7 yards to go. Now they only got 4 downs. It's as simple as these 4 downs now.
And if George Welsh, he knows if he gets a touchdown, he's got a decision to make.
Start of the game, he said, I wish we had something that we were playing for, and now you do to save your life.
Absolutely. Kirby bounces off a couple of tacklers inside the 5 and down to the 4-yard line.
He's such a tough, strong runner in there that he can keep moving forward, and he's tough to hit and move back. He picked up 2 extra yards there, just falling and keeping his legs driving. He's just the kind of back you want to have the ball down here.
And it gives the Cavaliers such versatility. Kirby, the power runner. Fisher, the slasher. The speed man on the corner. Option. Moore keeps it. And to the 3. It will be 3rd and goal for the Cavaliers. Clock winding down. 2:18, 2:17, and ticking away at Scott Stadium.
Last week against Penn State, the Terps made a goal line stand 4 plays inside the 5, but they've never faced a guy like Sean Moore that, hey, he can pitch it to Kirby, he can run it in. Fisher, I guess, is in now, but he can do so many things down there, and 2.5 yards just isn't that much.
Out of the wishbone, Sweeney, the fullback, Kirby and Fisher, the halfbacks. Fake, toss, incomplete, nearly intercepted on the goal line. Oh, the Terrapins nearly pull that one off. Scott Rosen, number 24, in his hands on the football. And it's going to be 4th down, and Virginia takes a timeout.
Sean Moore rolls to his right. He sees Kirby, and he threw a duck. He wanted to lob it up, kind of lost grip of it, and threw it right in, or low, so Rosen could get his hand on it.
A timeout on the field. Virginia with a 4th down and goal when we come back. Looking under pressure. He is kicked and taken down, and the Terrapins have held.
The Cavaliers season in one play, and who knows, maybe for Coach Krivak, his future came down to that play. They were trying to get the ball to Herman Moore. Can you tell a lot of these kinds of things haven't happened a lot to the Terps? They roll out, Sean Moore sees Herman Moore, but he just can't get the ball to him. And he tries to there at the very end. Lewis Johnson, big play.
And the Terps keeping it on the ground here, of course, with 1:30 left. The Cavaliers can stop the clock twice.
Johnson just reaches out at the last minute and trips him up. George Welsh has to be seeing this season slip away. The one thing that he didn't want to have happen, the one thing more than any, he didn't want to get into a brawl in this thing. He wanted to get up early and close it off early.
Who would have thought not only that Maryland could win the game, but they could outscore Virginia. 35 points for the Terps today. And here comes Darren Colvin getting yardage out to the 15. Less than a minute to go, and now Virginia will use a timeout here to stop the clock. They have 1 timeout remaining. Well, it is in some fashion a bit of a payback. You recall 2 years ago here, Maryland on a disputed 2-point conversion play was beaten in the last second by Virginia. Today they get some redemption by stopping the Cavaliers on a 4th and goal.
And don't think for a minute that these seniors for Maryland were not thinking that all those problems they've had against Virginia, all the problems they've had over the last 3 years could be rectified by this one game.
A timeout on the field. Maryland 35, Virginia 28. We'll be right back. Said here, another story developing in Charlottesville. Sean Moore with that right hand being held going to the Virginia locker room. This just moments ago. And the Virginia backup quarterback is getting warmed up. That, of course, is Matt Blunden. The Cavaliers have a chance to get the ball back, folks. It's 3rd down. They can use another timeout if they stop Maryland here. And they do. 47 seconds left. And Virginia uses its final timeout. So this will force a Maryland punt, and the Cavaliers will get it back.
That's the play Virginia had to make, because Herman Moore has not been a factor in this game. But I tell you, you get the ball back around midfield, look them to They did it against Maryland a couple years ago. I mean, just throw the ball up and let Herman run underneath it.
Now, with a punting situation here for the Terrapins, here's DeArmas again having to kick it into the wind.
Absolutely. And the one thing they want us, they want maybe 30, 35 yards. 35 yards net would be perfect. Make these guys so they have to go 40, 45, 50 yards in order to get the ball in the end zone.
And DeArmas into the wind in the second half. Punts of 31, 27, and 11 yards. And, of course, part of that 11-yard punt was he shanked it. But nonetheless, it was into the wind.
You got one job as a kicker or a punter. The only important kick is your next one. That's the key to being a good punter or place kicker. You got to forget about what's going on before and make sure that you get the most out of the opportunity that's in front of you.
Dan DeArmas at his own goal line. 4th down for Maryland. 47 seconds to play. The Terrapins lead by 7. And DeArmas will run around in the end zone and go out of the end zone for a safety. So rather than punt, the Terps take the safety and now still have to have a free kick into the wind with the score 35-30.
They'll be kicking off or punting, I should say, because that's what they'll do. DeArmas will punt it. They'll be doing it from the 20-yard line. You picked up, in what Joe just did there, you picked up maybe and hopefully 15 yards of field position because you got your guys running down there. You get that 10 yards that you didn't have because you were kicking from behind the line. So the idea there, and Joe's betting this whole season on this in a sense of, hey, we'll put them back there. If they can score a touchdown, they deserve to beat us.
And, of course, Virginia won't have Sean Moore at quarterback. He is off in the locker room with what appeared to us to be a injured right hand or right arm. And the man, Matt Blunden, who has had precious little playing time in precious situations, and, of course, makes a name for himself as a two-sport star here in Virginia. A great rebounder and inside force on the basketball team. Matt Blunden getting that right arm warmed up for a couple of heaves toward the end zone. The matter of a kick, and they are putting the ball on the tee.
You know, if you think I would know one thing, Bob, it's the kicking game. Krebeck is doing everything that I didn't think he would do. Fred Ensign will kick it off. Take their chances there.
Fred Ensign will kick off rather than punt. You have your choice here.
You know, as a kicker, I can't remember a lot of strategy sessions in the first place. You know what I mean?
That's right. And here is the end-over-ender coming to the 40-yard line. It's bobbled and out of bounds. And it will be Virginia ball at that spot. So the Cavaliers have 60 yards to go in 39 seconds.
Great
without
move
a
by
timeout.
Krebeck. Great move. If he's punting, Virginia's getting the ball right about the 50-yard line, maybe the 45 because of the way they've been punting in the wind. Now they got to go 60 yards to score. He picked up probably 10, 15 yards on that decision. But now, a touchdown, and he'll lose the game instead of just being tied.
Matt Blunden dropping back, looking over the middle, and it is complete to the 49-yard line. Herman Moore making the grab. Virginia does not have a timeout. They use them to stop the clock to force the punting situation.
And it's a foot short of a first down, so they don't stop the clock to move the chains.
18 seconds left. Blunden to the side and complete to Herman Moore, 45, and he's out of bounds at the 41-yard line. He goes out of bounds to stop it at 12. You try to pick up as much yardage as you can because the clock will stop as they reset the chains. You don't necessarily have to dash out of bounds.
The question is, can you drop back twice, throw the ball up into the end zone for Herman Moore, and just hope he comes down with it?
The Cavaliers looking for a miracle. London pressured and sacked at the 42, and that's the ball game. Virginia can't stop the clock. Time expires. The Maryland Terrapins have upset the 7th-ranked Virginia Cavaliers.
4 years years of waiting for these guys. They've been kicked around for 3 of them. They finally get their chance to say, hey, guys, we can play. George Welsh watched it all slip away, and Krivak, who knows? If this is his last ride, I'm sure Joe's thinking, who cares? I can take this with me. Nobody can take this away.
And Joe Krivak goes to shake the hand of the man he used to coach under at the Naval Academy, George Welsh. But it's Maryland's day today. The Terps 35, the Cavaliers 30. We'll be back.